What up, fellow agents? PurePrime here. Today I'm gonna show you my pure DPS raid build. We shredded to the raid as it was nothing. Are you ready? Let's go! What up? Welcome to another build video, guys, and appreciate that you showed interest in my content, and thanks for joining. So, my pure DPS raid build, and guys, this freaking shreds. This build is the best example of the best defense is offense. We will hit so freaking hard that the enemies don't even got the time to aim and shoot you. With this build you can choose whatever you like as your guns. It's not set to anything specific or an exotic needed to proc anything. This monster of a build has a whooping 150% critical hit damage combined with 50% critical hit chance and a 116% raw weapon damage. And this raw weapon damage can and will boost up to 166%. Yes, you heard me right, guys. When at its peak, this build will have almost the max critical hit chance, 150% critical hit damage and a freaking 166% weapon damage. Man, this is so good. But enough talk, and of course the gameplay of the build. Let's see how this beauty is made. What up, guys? There we are again, the third DPS build that I'm bringing you, or yeah, the pure DPS build. This freaking build shreds, guys. It's freaking insane. Like you saw, of course, in the content, in the video before, we shred through the freaking raid, guys. I think 20 minutes, 21 minutes is our fastest time, so it's pretty decent, I'm using the gunner as a specialization, and why? Because it gives me 10% armor on kill, so it will keep me alive a little bit better, because of course we are rocking that 6 core reds. Every 60 seconds it will give me and my teammates some extra ammo, and that is very nice, because we know the ads still need a lot of bullets. Then the third reload is way faster, and it's very nice. As you can see, I'm rocking an MG5, so an LMG. I know it still has fast hands, but sometimes that 50% reload faster the third time is very nice. And yeah, those are mainly the reasons why I use the gunner. There are of course a few other things that will help you out, but those are the three main things why I use gunner. Let's switch over. As you can see, I'm rocking an MG5 and an M1A, the baker's dozen, the named one. Let's start with the MG5. 10% LMG damage, 12% damage to out of cover, and 8% health damage, and of course fast hands. And fast hands is critical, or yeah, in my opinion is critical. There are a lot of other talents that we can use as well, but we know the reload speed of the MG5 or an LMG overall is very slow, around 6 seconds. So every percentage of reload speed bonus that you can get it. Then the baker's dozen, 15% rifle damage and 10% critical hit damage as the core attributes. That 15% rifle damage I rolled on myself, and then I got 5% damage to armor as an attribute, and then perfect lucky shot, of course, because it's the named M1A. Magazine capacity is increased by 30%. Missed shots from cover have 100% chance to turn into the magazine. So that's pretty nice. You can use it if you are in cover. You can just spam the enemies, and it doesn't matter if you miss, you still keep the bullet. So that's pretty nice. Then yeah, I'm using the backup boomstick just because it's a backup boomstick. Sometimes I use it to kill an enemy to get that 10% armor over 5 seconds with the preservation, but yeah, that's mostly using in PvP or DZ or something like that. But this is mainly a PvE build, guys. PvE build. But let's head over to my build, guys. As you can see, I'm rocking a 3-piece Providence. And why? Of course, 10% headshot damage for my rifle, 10% critical hit chance and 15% critical hit damage. And that does a lot. So let's start with the mask. 15% weapon damage, the max on there, 10.6% critical hit damage, and that gave me the opportunity to roll 6% critical hit chance on there, and 11.3% critical hit damage mod. My vest, of course, again Providence, 12.1% weapon damage, 4.8% critical hit chance, 10.4% critical hit damage, and a mod of 11.2% critical hit damage. And then glass cannon. Of course, I can rock the perfect glass cannon, and that is amplified the damage by 30%, but amplifies the damage that you take by 60%. But yeah, I didn't find the good roll yet, and that 5% weapon damage is very nice when it amplifies, of course, but that 10% extra damage that you take is quite significant. We're still testing out what the difference is, because still if you are hit with 4 or 5 bullets, then you die with glass cannon. And maybe it's the same with the perfect glass cannon, because that 10% may not be that big of a difference, but I'm still testing it out, keep you informed. But glass cannon, all damage you deal is amplified by 25%, and all damage you take is amplified by 50%. So you have a very high damage output, but the damage that you take is amplified as well, and that's very tricky. So this is a very nice and hard hitting build. You will shred through everything, but still you have to be a little bit more careful. I know the face tank is almost gone, still working on the build. I think I'm almost there, but yeah, that's for another day, but the face tank is pretty much gone. So we need to be a little bit more careful, of course, but if you're running glass cannon, you need to be more careful. Because every bullet, every grenade, every status effect will hit harder. But you hit harder yourself. And the good thing about this is, the much power you have, the better defense you have. Sounds strange, so if you hit the enemies so hard, they will stagger for a bit, so they will not shoot you, and you have the chance to take them all the way down without even getting one bullet from the enemy. So let's head over to the last piece of the backpack, and that is with Vigilance. And Vigilance increased the total weapon damage by 25%, but when you take damage, this disables the buff for 4 seconds. That 4 seconds isn't that long, guys. Just run around or get into cover, get to another position, and you got your Vigilance back again. But just like I said, this is mainly pure DPS. You will shred through everything, and Vigilance is needed in my opinion. Of course, we can go for a companion, what I like on some other builds, but still this is pure DPS, so Vigilance is the way to go. 12% weapon damage on there, 10% critical hit damage, 5% critical hit chance, and a mod of 10.2% critical hit damage. And this is a very nice roll, because that gave me the opportunity to roll that Vigilance on there myself. And then let's go over to my holster, guys, and I chose for Seska. And why? Critical hit chance. Still working to get this away and get a Grupo on there, so I get another 15% critical hit damage. I'm almost there, but I want to be a little bit more comfortable with all the critical hit chance and critical hit damage. But if it's ready, it will almost hit for 170% critical hit damage, guys, with a 51% critical hit chance, so that's gonna be freaking fun. But let's get back to this one. 15% weapon damage already on there, 11% critical hit damage already on there, and that gave me the opportunity to roll that 5.7% critical hit chance. Yes, I still didn't find that 6% critical hit chance. Still grind, guys. That's one of the pieces that don't drop for me, but yeah, that 0.3%, it's nice, but yeah, won't affect me that much. And then let's get over to the best in slot gear, guys. The first one, of course, the Petrov gloves. Why? 11% damage to armor. 15% weapon damage already on there, so I could roll that 12% critical hit damage. And this was a very nice drop. I got a lot of other drops and never this high, and this one was dropped by a rogue agent. And a lot of other named items got a very nice drop on rogue agents as well. So of course you want to take them out, but be careful, or invite your boys or whatever. If you see rogue agents, take them down, guys, because they drop insane loot. Insane. Then over to the Fox Sprayer's knee pads. 11.3% weapon damage. And why the Fox Sprayer's knee pads? Of course, 15% damage to target out of cover. And that gave me the opportunity to roll that 12% critical hit damage on there. I chose for 2 skills. The Reviver Hive, of course, because I'm rocking a red core and sometimes I go down. Yes, sometimes I go down. And then I went for the Fixer Drone, and still because it fixes me while I'm not doing anything to heal myself. So it just floats above my head and heals me. And I still can shoot at that time and everything around that. And I know there is a healing mine as well, but then you need to run the crossbow. And the crossbow is nice, but the crossbow is more of a healing mechanic, if you ask me. You know, that outgoing healing and everything around that. So I'm not prepared to get to the crossbow just for the healing mine, you know. So that's why I chose for the Fixer Drone. Still gives me a little bit of healing. And yeah, of course, I can shoot at the same time. And then let's head over to the stats, guys. This is gonna be fun. 69.5k weapon damage, a critical hit chance of 50.5%, and a whooping 150.5 critical hit damage. Oh man, shredding. 95% headshot damage, 11% damage to armor, and 8% health damage. Then we got the offensive stats, 81.1% all weapon damage bonus, and then because we use the LMG the most times, we can combine that with 35% LMG damage bonus and gives us 116.1% all weapon damage bonus, combined with that 50% critical hit chance and 150% critical hit damage. Man, this is so fun to play with, man. They don't stand a chance. And yeah, the rest I can show you, but yeah, it's a red core, so no hazard protection, of course. Maybe something from my watch, but yeah, no hazard protection, no armor then, of course. So yeah, it's all a little bit basic. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. And this is a very, very nice build to go with, especially for the raid. Still, we think that most of the people should run red core, and then we have some skill builds for the drones on Razorback. Then of course we got some armor builds for Guiding Body, Lucy, Boomer, you name it, Weasel, everybody. But that's something for the next few days, guys. I'm gonna explain to you how to rock the level 40 raid. It's not that difficult, but you need to know a few things, and I will give you some tips and tricks and some builds to go with it. But for today, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribers button. And of course the notification bell. PurePrime out.